Hello everyone, welcome back to Skeledon, Bushcraft and Survival. Glad you could join me. Now in my overnight video I made a comment about the fire shield and how it doesn't really work like it sounds like it would. And I got some really good comments on that and I really appreciated that. I also went over the Swedish Fire Torch, and well, I wanted to cover that a little bit more in depth because I got a few questions about that as well. Now about the fire shield, it's best to put the fire shield behind you. You got your fire, and like I said, the fire torch really isn't for heat, although it is putting off a lot of heat. It's more for cooking than anything. So the heat is coming back here. It's around this area in the radius because it's radiation heat. And it radiates this direction and it gets on this fire shield. And this fire shield right here is really warm. And so behind me is warm, in front of me is warm, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a blanket. And so that's how a fire shield really works. If I were to go on the other side of the fire, then it doesn't benefit as good. It does keep the heat in a little bit longer because it's blocking the wind, but that's just about it. And as you see, this wind is actually blowing this direction right now. When I set this up, it was blowing towards me, and that is what you're wanting. You're wanting the wind to blow from that direction coming this way instead of that direction coming this way. And that's the direction that it was coming from, so I set the fire shield up this way. And now it's kind of blowing off that way. Oh well. It's still really warm right here. As you see, I don't have any gloves on, and I got icicles in my beard from setting this up. So, I mean, it's definitely cold out here. But I just wanted to touch base and thank you very much for all of the support and everything, and the great comments and all the views and the subscribers. I greatly appreciate you. I also got a comment from a good friend. We've been friends for years. Martin Smith. He has a YouTube channel, and so I'm wanting to take this time to give you best wishes. Get well soon. As far as the fire torch goes, this was a great invention, and it was actually originated for use in the snow. And as you see, I've got snow all around me and everything. And so I figured I'd come out here and I'd just go ahead and start up another fire torch. And my brother's out hunting, so if he happens to catch anything, we just go ahead and cook it up. But if not, I didn't come out here for that. I came out here just to cover this. Like I said, I had some really good questions about the fire torch in the last video. How long did the cordage last before it burned off? It was 45 minutes for the last one, and that was in a non-snowy environment. In this situation right here, it is a snowy environment, as you see. However, for the cordage, this time, I just wrapped it around there just to hold it together to get the fire going, and then staked it in around it, and then took the cordage away. And I'll use that for something else. Now with the stakes here, keeping it standing and everything, it holds it together and it can burn to full duration. Now if it does get to the point where it falls over, which it will, it's been burning for about 45 minutes now, and it's still standing strong and still going strong, and there's plenty of material still to burn. I could still put a pot on there and still cook up something, and that's 45 minutes after I started it. So with the stakes, that kind of prolongs things as well. Now, of course, after it's already burned up and it does fall apart and this and that, whatever, I can still stack them up because there's still a lot of stuff to burn. So I can stack them up and use it as a heat fire and use that as the basis to put bigger logs on or build up another fire lay. There's a lot of different fire lays out there, and I do have plans to go over them in the future videos. But for this one right here, that just pretty much covers the fire torch. Different ways that you can do it. You can cut down at the end of it so that you can stake it in the ground that way. You can put snow up around the cordage, and of course that snow would start melting and prevent the cordage from melting or burning, depending on what you're using for cordage, for a longer duration of time. Of course, when it gets down to this point right here, then, you know, eventually it's going to burn through the cordage. But, you know, like I said, I mean, this right here has another probably 2 hours to go, to be honest, because it's already been 50 minutes to the point right here, and not very much of the log itself has been burned up. So it's an awesome invention. It's an awesome thing that they came up with, and I just wanted to go over different ways that you can set it up to make it last as long as it possibly could. Also, I had a comment that the bad thing about a Swedish Fire Torch is that it's really a one-time use. And yes and no. Overall, yes, it's a one-time use, but if I were to take these stakes out and I would divide it up, take my knife, my Bowie, or Bowie, I keep pronouncing my Bowie incorrectly, it's Bowie. You know, David Bowie, Jim Bowie. So, yeah, it's Bowie. But nevertheless, though, I could take my Bowie and cut off the char and then stack it together and carry it with me and use it again. So, I mean, you could get more than one use out of it. However, in the same token, that really depends on the situation. And I've only used them one time, and most people has too. But you can, in fact, use them for more than one time if you're wanting to carry around a log with you everywhere you go. Which is not so easy when you're trekking up hills and stuff. But if you was in your backyard, which I wouldn't use this in my backyard, I would just use my barbecue grill. But if I were to use this in the backyard, then yeah, maybe I might just go ahead and go through the time to, you know, chop that up and this and that. This specific, okay, that was another thing that I had to say in the comments. It really does depend on what material that you're using. If you're using poplar like I am right here, I'm using poplar. I used poplar last time. I used poplar for the fire lay and everything. And that burns up a little faster than, let's say, cherry or oak, elm, maple. So, you know, it really does depend on what materials that you're using for how long it's going to last. Some regions, they use spruce, you know. And spruce is a really good material to use as well. Cottonwood, again, it's like poplar. It's going to burn a little faster. But you see, I mean, this is pushing an hour already, and it's still going strong. So that's just that. I mean, it really does depend on what material that you use, determining how long that it actually lasts. And so I thought that it would be kind of a good idea on this one right here, just to go ahead and kind of go along with it and see how long it does last. So it's an hour in right now, and we'll just see how long it lasts from there. All right. Here we are at the hour-and-a-half mark. Still quite a bit of stuff, quite a bit of wood, and it's still standing true. I could set a pot on that and it would hold just fine. So, and it is really putting on a lot of heat, I'm telling you. But I'll be back in a half hour and see where it is there. All right, well, here we are at 1 hour and 50 minutes. So 10 minutes away from being 2 hours, and it's to the point where I wouldn't trust putting anything on it, any kind of pot or anything like that right there. Starting from here, it would hold it right now, but by the time that your meal actually cooked and stuff, I wouldn't trust it. So this would be the point where I would break it apart, set it up, put more timber on top of it, build up a fire lay, so on and so forth, using it from there, or just lay it out, put the fire out, and continue on my trek. So there you have it. It lasts an hour and 50 minutes. This specific one right here sits about 2 feet tall, and it was 8-inch diameter, 8-inch diameter log. And so that's what I started with. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed actually that poplar lasted as long as it did. I did not actually think that poplar would, but because the last one, it only lasted for about 45 minutes, and if I had stakes on there, it would probably only have lasted an hour. And but I mean, it was a shorter log, and you know, it was a smaller diameter, so there you go there. But anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe we can get some a whole bunch of likes on this video. I normally just go ahead and say, if you like it, you know, hit the like button, but YouTube's algorithm set it up that it really depends on the likes, and so I'm kind of forced to ask for them. Feel funny about it, but I got to. So if you could do that, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and tell me what you want, you know, to see in future videos. I've got a lot planned, but if you put something down in the comments that, you know, you would like to see, I will definitely, in appreciation to all of you watching, supporting me all this time, put it in the works to get that done for you. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.